As the preparations for the conduct of the 2023 general elections, which is just 152 days away, has reached an advanced and critical stage, the chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission has again urged all the 18 registered political parties to critically study and pay attention to the provisions of the Constitution, the Electoral Act, the Police Act, and the Public Order Act for the proper and peaceful conduct of political campaigns, rallies, and processions. The INEC chairman, who was ably represented, made the appeal at a 2-day capacity building workshop on INEC processes, innovations, preparations for the 2023 general elections, and critical issues in the Electoral Act, organized for members of INEC Press Corps in Lagos. In his remarks, the INEC chairman, quoting from Section 92, Subsection 3 of the Electoral Act 2022, warns that all political parties must not campaign at any worship centers, police stations, or public offices in the country, adding that a political campaign or slogan shall not be tainted with abusive language directly or indirectly likely to injure religious, ethnic, tribal, or sectional feelings.
All the 18 registered political parties to critically study and pay attention to the provisions of the Constitution, the Electoral Act, the Police Act, and the Public Order Act for the proper and peaceful conduct of political campaigns, rallies, and processions. A political campaign or slogan shall not be tainted with abusive language, directly or indirectly, likely to injure religious, ethnic, tribal, or sectional feelings. Abusive, intemperate, slanderous, or base language or innuendos designed or likely to provoke violent reaction or emotions shall not be employed or used in political campaigns.
It therefore tasked INEC Press Corps in the electoral process to avail the stakeholders timely and relevant information pertaining to the electoral process.
The Commission is conscious of the critical role of the media in our political and electoral process and believes that democracy will only grow and flourish through adherence by the media to professional and ethical standards. Indeed, true democracy cannot exist without effective information flow. This places them in an advantageous position to play a critical role in shaping the opinions and editorial policies of their major organizations on issues relating to the programs and also relating to the policies of the Commission. Must therefore strive to understand the intent and nuances of the powers granted to the Commission by the Constitution and the Electoral Act that are expressed in subsidiary legislations, including the Commission's regulations, guidelines, and manuals.
Earlier in his welcome address, the Lagos Resident Commissioner charged media in his pursuit to ensure that the rule of law prevails must not in itself become lawless.
This event presents a unique opportunity for participants to be well equipped with adequate knowledge of the processes of the Commission, various innovations introduced to further strengthen the conduct of election, provisions of the Electoral Act 2022, and electoral activities lined up for the conduct of free, fair, credible, and inclusive election 2023. Media is defined as any agency, interface, or channel through which information is exchanged between the transmitter and the audience, in this case, the public. Modern societies cannot be imagined without mass communication. The mass media as the fourth estate played a noble role of supplementing the three branches of democratic government, that is the executive, legislature, and the judiciary, by providing checks and balances. One other basic role of the media is that it provides information necessary for rational debate. A healthy functioning democracy is predicated on the electorate making informed choices, and this in turn is dependent on the quality of information that they receive. Hence, the media is one of the trusted primary sources of news and information.
Given the aims and objectives of a 2-day capacity building workshop, the Chief Press Secretary to INEC Chairman said the media, by its nature and functions, is the most vital entity with the capacity to facilitate public understanding of not only the Commission's functions and actions, but also the entire electoral architecture.
He has deliberately nurtured a good working relationship with the media, based on mutual respect and the understanding that the sustenance and survival of democracy and the electoral process is a collective task. While the Commission is saddled with the enormous responsibilities of quite a number of things, including the delivery of free, fair, credible, and inclusive elections, the media, on the other hand, also has a duty to play its watchdog role responsibly and continuously act as an agent of positive change.
In his goodwill message, the DAI team lead commended the Commission for the workshop, which is a crucial demonstration of INEC's strong commitment to transparency and in ensuring that the public is and remains well informed about INEC's stewardship of the electoral process.
Go through these aspects the Honourable Resident Electoral Commissioner has mentioned. There's a lot of novelties, there's a lot of challenges out there, there is a lot of misinformation, disinformation, fake news, you have it. Since a certain president of the United States held office, everything has increased. And you, ladies and gentlemen from the press, are extremely important partners to get a credible election done for Nigeria.
Chairman INEC Press Corps, in his goodwill message, requested the Commission to respond even quicker to issues as they come up in the weeks and months ahead.
And indeed, the history of the 2023 general elections will be mostly written by the pen, or shall I say, the keypads of journalists sitting in this hall. This, in the same breath, presents a challenge and also an opportunity. A challenge because we've never had an election quite like this one, which is at the center of the workshop, both in terms of scale, legal framework, and of course, technology. This unprecedented challenge is exactly why the Commission and members of the INEC Press Corps are here today.
The workshop presents a unique opportunity for participants to be well equipped with adequate knowledge of the processes of the Commission, various innovations to introduce to further strengthen the conduct of the election, provisions of the Electoral Act 2022, and electoral activities lineup for the conduct of free, fair, credible, and inclusive election in 2023. Participants at the workshop include members of INEC Press Corps, representative of the European Union that has, through the European Union support to democratic governance in Nigeria, program implemented by DAR for consistently supporting the work of the Commission, INEC officials, among others. Olaimi Eson for Spy TV.